Good morning, friends. Welcome to TM6 Adventures. Lisa here. You may notice we have two Thermomixes on the bench today, and I'm excited to show you today a bit about the TM7 and the TM6 side by side. If you are new here today, my name is Lisa Keegan. I'm a Thermomix consultant in Australia, and I have been turning up online with videos nearly every single day of the week for about the last 3 years or so now. And my whole aim is that when you get a Thermomix, regardless of what model, you get the very most out of it, because there's so much that it can do to serve you in your kitchen. Now, something really important to note as we're going into a new era of Thermomixes is, hello Kim, nearly everything, like 99% of what I'm going to show you going forward in the TM7, okay, will be able to be made in your TM5, your TM6, your TM31. You guys know that at the moment, when I do videos, even if they're a recipe that is TM6 only, I share with you, if you have a 31, this is how you can do it. If you've got a TM5, it is very rare that I say, hey guys, you can't do this on a TM31 or a TM5, right? So hear me when I say that even though, yes, I will be starting to cook on the TM7 as of next week, consistently, and I plan on still keeping sparkles, okay, my TM6. I plan on keeping sparkles for quite some time, but you will still be able to make the recipes. Okay, when I look on Cookidoo right now, it's not like there's all of a sudden thousands of recipes for a TM7. No. When I look at those recipes, it says TM31, TM5, actually sometimes 31, not so much, but TM5, TM6, TM7, yeah? So there are going to be some that are new, because there are new features. You know, when they bring something new out, there's always something that's like the icing on top, right? But so much will be crossover. Sorry guys, about my dogs. Must have someone at the front door. So there's going to be so much crossover. So don't be sad, don't be angry, don't be disappointed, okay? I know over the weekend I did some videos on YouTube, and I did the what I'm going to miss about the TM6, and I did what I'm not going to miss about the TM6, because let's be real, there's things about it that over the time I've been like, man, I wish they did this instead, and you guys have heard me do that. And I never edit these, they're not filtered. These are just me being real with you, like I'm talking to friends, because I do feel like a lot of you guys are like friends to me, okay? So as I do these videos, don't get cranky at me. It's literally, and as I turn on in the TM7 next week and I go forward with the TM7, which is all that I can sell going forward, know that my whole aim is that if you've got a TM6 on the bench, that you continue to get inspired and confident and get more and more out of it. Okay, every time I turn up, that is what it is about. So with no further ado, we have a TM7, we have a TM6. I'm going to slightly adjust my screen so you can see a little different here. Actually, I'll do that in a moment. Let me show you the screens, because today I'm going to cook some mince in a second, side by side. But before we cook that mince side by side, I want to just tell you, and you've got to hear me out as well when I say I picked this up over the weekend. The kids played with it when I took it out of the car late yesterday, and I've barely touched it since. So this is going to be incredibly clunky. And this is the thing, I want to be real with you guys. I want to take you on that adventure, that journey with a Thermomix, learning how to use it, learning how to get the most out of it. Because let's be real, when you get a TM6 this week with the amazing bundle, you're going to start clunky like I'm starting clunky today with the TM7. And for those of you who have a pre-ordered TM7 starting to come out soon, again, you're going to start clunky like I'm clunky. So I want to be real. I don't want to perfect it and then come online and go, oh my gosh, guys, this is what it is, okay? So bear with me today. And this might be a longish video. If you've got to run off and do something else, remember it goes on YouTube at nighttime. So you can always go over there and check that out. So straight up, I have turned both on. We have a TM6 and a TM7. Straight away, obvious difference, screen size. Now, when I come up to the screen, you are going to have to bear with me. And I do have a new camera set up the front there, so you should see a little bit better quality on the front one today. I'm going to order another one. Thank you, Patreon friends. This is thanks to you that I can get these cameras. You can see the nice big screen. Actually, one of the leaders, I showed them something last night on it, and they said, is that on an iPad? I'm like, no, this is the screen of your Thermomix. Oh my gosh. So it actually very much is just like a 10-inch iPad, and it has that responsiveness. Come over to a TM6. I don't have to spend too long on this because you're familiar with this. You've seen me cook on it lots of times, okay? Now, if I want to set them up the same right now, let me do that for you. So the other one's on manual mode. So on this screen of the TM7, and I'm sorry about the reflective lights and stuff. You will have to bear with me because while I've got two on the bench, it's a little awkward. Let's be real. So you can see here, we've got planned recipes, my week, pre-clean, manual mode, browning. Now you can set these up to be whatever your favorites are. I actually had that as hints and tips to start off with, a manual, help and manual, I think it was called. I changed it to browning. But if I want to go manual mode, now you're going to see this is the same screen, same functionality as that. Okay, time, temperature, speed. See it? Time, temperature, speed. Time, and just come back a bit. Time, minute, second, temperature, speed, reverse or non-reverse. And instead of a dial to press, a silver dial, we have a play button. We also have a little cheating, the light is shining on it. You're gonna have to trust me, it's a scale button. And then a stop button. The emergency stop though, is the silver button underneath. You know how on the TM6 we push the silver dial to stop it? If we ever needed to emergency stop, it's the on off button, which is that little thing under there. So if I'm going to set a time on this, I click on it. This is for those of you who are Thermi experts, okay? Because some of you watching on, you're brand new, you only follow guided recipes. You don't need to know this. But some of you are Thermi pros, you've done a TM31, a TM5, TM6, or maybe you've gone 31.5.6 or 31.6 or 5, whatever. So you know how to drive a manual Thermomix. So manual driving, this is the minutes, and you can see this little ring dial comes up behind it. So I can say, hey, I want to cook for 99 minutes. Okay, I can pick my seconds. If I want to actually make shortcuts, this here, I don't know why this is blurry. I might need to clean the camera. Plus 1 minute, plus 5 minute, plus 10 minute, plus 30, reset. So I can actually do these shortcuts across the bottom. Okay. My temperature, similarly, when I click on my temperature, I can go 37, 40, all the way through, or I've got my shortcuts across the bottom. And then I've got my speeds. So I can go here across the bottom straight away. 1, 2, does that say 4, 8, reset. I've also got under here, you've got your slow stir, your 0, 0.5, 1, so all those things. Now you'll notice when I change that, can you see the green play button has now come up? So it means when I click on it, there's nothing in my bowl, so I can click on it. It's literally starting to do that. And I don't know, you probably can't hear over the camera, but I can't hear that. It's silent. It's cooking, it's silent. On speed 1, speed 2, you cannot hear it. To stop it, pause button or stop button. I'm going to push stop because I don't need to do that. Okay, we actually don't need to cook. I just wanted to show you. So this is manual driving on that. And you know what manual driving looks like on the TM6. So that's our manual stuff. But this is our home screen. So when I first turn it on, it says, have an excellent day. Actually, it said have a spiced up day, I thought this morning. Now it has excellent date, and you get to change that name. So TMXing Adventures. So it's coming up straight away with your recipe. Now you can choose this display. So you can choose the Cookidoo overview, which matches, if I swipe sideways on this, it's similar to this, okay, on my TM6. So you can choose to have that display as your home display on it, or you can choose to have this one. This is called organized, or you can actually choose to have manual, which gives you then literally like the time, temperature, speed with all the modes. So you can actually have that there as well. I like organized. That probably doesn't surprise you. Say hi if you're watching on today, guys. Love to know you're here. You can see the planned recipes for today. So the kids are making these gluten-free burgers, quick fix noodles. You can also go show all, but I've also got my week that I've got over here. I've got pre-clean over here. And I'll actually probably take pre-clean off because pre-clean is in our magic menu at the top. So can you see next to my face, sorry, it's a bit squeezy, but this is the best view while I show you the actual screen. If I swipe this line down, it's a lot like my TM6. When I swipe the top down on this, we get our timer, right? And if we've got a sensor, it's there. Over here, we get timer, scales, and pre-clean. So there's no reason for me to have on the home screen that pre-clean because it's in the top. So I will take that off and put a different mode there. Then I've got manual. I'm obviously going to use that because I do use manual cooking. Hello, Lorraine. Lovely to see you on. So I'll probably leave manual there, and I'll probably leave browning because I think I'll use that a lot now that we don't have to stick to a recipe. I used to hack recipes to brown off our lunch and make a little stir-fry lunch. I think I'll use that a lot, so I thought I'd leave browning there. So let's scroll down. Going down the screen, look at that responsiveness. You can't see my finger, but it's behind here, and oh my gosh. So we've got bookmarks. So straight away you see your bookmarks on this organized home screen. So you can see here my bookmarks. As I scroll, they go sideways. I can pull them across. I've got recently cooked, which is there. Hello, Roz. Lovely to see you on. I love that you're away on holidays and watching you, and that is so cool. So cool. So you can see there, that's our recently cooked. And trending. So this is your recipe inspiration and ideas. And then fresh from the oven. Again, they're giving you inspiration based on your search history if you've allowed them to do so. And then edit home screen. That's actually where you go and set that home screen up. So that is a very quick overview of the screens. If you want things like your modes, they are simply under the blade symbol on the left of your screen. And then here we go, we now have all the modes. Now note a mode that is missing. So on our TM6, if you're not familiar, because maybe you're thinking about upgrading, or maybe you're just thinking about getting a TM6 because it comes with an amazing offer for this week. This is to the other way. So normally we're here on our home screen, we just swipe the other way, and there's all our modes. Okay, so there's that there. So the modes are the same, barring a few changes. So the chop mode is not on there at the moment. I say at the moment because I've learnt with the Germans, things just happen. In a month's time, it will have different things that it doesn't have now. So that's pretty cool. But what we have on there is some new modes. So I've already mentioned browning because I put that on the front screen. Browning, we had to, hack into an existing recipe. So I'm going to show you that today as I do mince. So just hang on another couple of minutes and we'll get started on that. Steaming is a new mode. So that's that's behind there. Let me, my head's in the way. Steaming, see the steaming there? So steaming is brand new. So that's your Varoma. In essence, that's Varoma temp. Can I still do that on a TM6? Of course. And this is the thing. There's new modes to make it easy, but you can still do it on TM31, TM5, TM6. Okay, so don't stress. Good morning, Chris. It's so lovely to see you on. I hope it's not too chilly at your house this morning out there. I was out your way over the weekend. Not quite your way, but most of the way out that way. Turbo, we know. Blend, we know. Egg boiler. There are pretty pictures, which I'm sure you've seen floating around on social media already, of some of these modes. They have these beautiful pictures on. Open cooking will probably be the other one that I put on that home screen. What open cooking does is it's literally turning the TM7 into a saucepan on the stove. So anything you still get a saucepan out to cook with, it literally brings a stationary boil to the machine, and you have to use the spatula to occasionally stir it, and it tells you that. So say you wanted to grab my fill the freezers out, or let's just go, maybe your life is hectic and you're buying chicken tonight. Okay, that's okay. Sometimes life gets crazy. You're putting that in, you're putting your meat in, you're putting open cooking on, and then coming back and occasionally grabbing the spatula and stirring it. That's what it is, open cooking. So I'll probably put that up. So even like boiling a pot of pasta, that's what open cooking is. Kettle, we know. Warm up, we know. Rice cooker, thicken, slow cook, fermenting, sous vide. Peeler, grating, slicing, spiralizing. At the moment, we can use a peeler. We cannot use a grate, a slice, or a spiralize on the TM7. We don't, the cutter does not fit. So that's your manual cooking modes, okay? On that, you can see the scales are over the side, but the scales also, of course, drag down from the top. So into these here. When I've got a recipe going, it's going to sit in that space there as well. So that's pretty cool. So that is, if I go home, back here, have an excellent day, Lisa. Thank you very much. If I want to search Cookidoo, so let me get you on actually, let me delete myself, 2 seconds. Let me get myself off the screen so you can see the full screen all together. Let's do that. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Where are you? Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to take the zoom out of this so that you see the room. Okay. And then let's go okay, and let's pull this out the way. There I am, I'm teeny tiny now. All right, so on the screen, let's see this. So we've got down the left, you've got the little magnifying glass. So your magnifying glass also takes you straight to Cookidoo. Now my kids yesterday spent their time playing on this, literally. So they went to search Cookidoo and they started typing things in. It does appear to have an easier search functionality in the sense that the TM6, when you typed, and if you watched my YouTube video yesterday, you would know that I said one of the things I'm not, going to miss is the fact that when you type things in on the screen, and this isn't always something you do, so you don't because it's clunky, right? But on the TM6, you type in pikelets, you'd spell it wrong, but you couldn't go to the middle of the word and delete it. It didn't try and predict the text for you. It didn't have that ability, which made it a little hard, whereas this does. So when I get up here and I click in my search, man, I can't wait for my new camera to arrive. This one's just that little bit blurry on here. So I'm looking forward to that. So you can see already the kids, look at this, mac and cheese, pasta, they've already been searching. So if I type in carrot and I spell it wrong, it's telling me, hey, which actually do you mean carrot? But I can also come up here, click midway through that and fix my spelling mistake. And you couldn't do that on the TM6. And that was something I said, you know what, I won't miss that because it drove me a little crazy. It meant that I always gave my kids the iPad to actually plan their recipes on. Whereas this morning they said, can we go plan a bit more on the Thermomix? And they literally could because there's this searchability ease to it, which is really nice. So the magnifying glass on the left takes you to Cookidoo, just like on our TM6, the swipe to the right takes us to Cookidoo, okay? So that's that. It just looks very similar to what you would see on the actual iPad. So you can search as you do via the title, the ingredients, all that jazz, okay? Down the left, we've got the recipe book, little symbol. That's going to take us to, I've got recently cooked that comes up straight away, which I thought was really interesting. We've got our bookmarks. They've renamed, finally, collections as a recipe list. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? But the collections are cookbooks. So there's collections. And then the last thing is created recipes. And look at this. I'm a little excited about this. Now, it is dependent on your internet to get created recipes up, of course. But look at this. So there are all my created recipes. Yay for that. Then you've got down the side your blades, which I said is the mode. And then you've just got this little 3 dots down the bottom, which are all your settings and stuff like that. So with no further ado, though, let's get cooking on these Thermomixes. Oh, and I will just change the screen for half a second because let me just show you them side by side. Okay, now I can't fit them literally side by side. I will swap their positions through the week to give you forward and backwards view on them and stuff. Move that back now for the moment. So here we go. We've got TM7 in all its glory here and our TM6 in all its glory as well. So spatulas, side by side comparison, little different. No, because we don't have a hole to put through anymore, we don't need the collar on it. And very much it's the shape of the bowl, so it scrapes around. You always want to follow the back of your blades though, just like this one, so you don't take chunks out of it. So same little notch on it for your simmering basket. We'll talk more about that in a moment. I do like this though. This is for the underneath of your blades to help you get dough out, to turn the cog underneath, which I liked. But it sits up on the bench too, which is super cool. Look at that. I do like that. So this one doesn't hit the bench. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, you can. So it sits up so it doesn't let that, blade touch the bench. And this one stands. There you go. So spatulas, slightly different. Butterflies, pretty similar. Pretty similar. Like, the slight difference, like I can tell the difference. This one's got a different feel. It's got a little different knob on the end, but same. Close enough. All right, splash guard. Only on the TM7. Don't need it on the TM6 because we can do open lid cooking. So splash guard, TM6 only. All right, now Vorwerk, so cool. I like it. Very modern. I like the fact that it's rectangle. Just fits in a cupboard better. That's all. Just a practical element of Lisa. So Vorwerk lids. Vorwerk trays, you've got a bit more capacity in them. They're a little deeper. Well, actually, it ends up being quite a lot, but it doesn't look a lot until you put them side by side. And then the base. Okay, so there you go. That's your Vorwerk. I can't wait to try that steaming mode. And as I said, I've actually not cooked in this yet. First cook coming up in a second with you guys. So lids, little different. I'll show you why. I can see you. I can't really see you. All right. This has steam holes in it, but it doesn't, you can't see through, which is why we don't put the spatula through anymore. Okay. So a little different. So. Doesn't really matter, right? So there you go. Now inside, simmering baskets. So as I said earlier, This is what removes. Okay, so the same, different angle. This one is a far greater angle on theirs, but same process. I do like this. This is a nice change, which I thought was very clever. You know, just improving little things, the 1%. This. I used to have to get a fork in there to open the lid. Now you've actually, it's designed. It's got a little slit. You see that little slit in it? So you can go, I like that. Yeah, so they thought of everything. And again, it still fits in inside just like you'd expect. Now I've popped in here the lid cap. Same capacity for these. Again, same, not too different. So this obviously sits in here, just pushes down like that. So that's the same, okay? And then in here, so yeah, this is where I always had to kind of push into my rice, flip it open to use it. And then we've got, obviously, you know how the measuring cup works on that. I don't need to show you that. You've been around long enough. You know the TM6. Okay, bowls. Same blades. Interestingly, identical blades. You can use the TM6 blades in the TM7. So you know what the bowl looks like on that. This one, now it is a little heavier, got to say, and it will be this beautiful casing. The casing is not designed to, I think it's dishwasher safe, but it's not particularly designed to go in the dishwasher. It shouldn't need to. And I've got to say, in all our cooking, we cooked on stage multiple times and we practiced and we never had to do anything with the casing. It never got washed up. So what is going to be different is you will never take the blades out while there's food in there. So that's why they made the dough end on this to be able to turn it, because you won't drop that out, because as soon as you undo the bowl, so I do like there's no base on this. Oh, sorry, I dunked the microphone. So you see this is here, this will release the blades. So open that, blades come out, put it on the bench, bowl comes out. So you're not going to take your hot, dish over to the bench or do this while it's still hot, yeah? Because this will be hot. This does not get hot at all. So this goes back in. This is where you're going to have to excuse me for being clunky, because I've never done this before. Well, I've done it over the weekend a few times, showing people how to pull it apart, but I've not actually done it for you guys or myself in my own kitchen. So blade just plops down. So those of you who have, arthritis hands, sore hands, this is a game changer. Just this lever, so easy, which I really like. So that's there. The lip's a little wider, which is why you don't get food and batter down the front, because it is wider, okay? Will my kids make a mess on the black casing? Probably. They make a mess everywhere. This plops in like that. And obviously you know how this comes apart. So that just base sideways. And then I've got this bit. This doesn't go in the dishwasher, which is why I'm like, that really probably doesn't need to either. Yeah. It's the idea, the concept is that it can actually literally go on the table and be served out of, and it's supposed to look pretty. That's the concept, okay? Now we've got my parts, yeah? So, alrighty, in that goes. So there we go. That is how the bowl comes apart. Now, is there anything else I have missed? Any questions you've got? Put them in the chat too. Oh, interestingly, so it's got five pins, 5 holes. It's still got the rosette like you'd expect. This one has 2, 4, 6 holes and 5 pins. Hello, Linda. Lovely to see you on today. So I thought that was really interesting that it's got 5 pins and 6 holes. Don't know what that means yet. Okay, cleanability. Let's get this cooking and then let's talk cleanability, because we can now do that. So to do this recipe on the TM6, I have to stop and keep thinking of names. This whole week is going to be just me thinking about what I'm calling things. So to do this on a TM6, let's bring up that other view for a second so that you guys can see it. I don't remember which view it was. Oh, that one will do. That'll do me. Okay, so on this one, we've gone to my 3 lines. We've gone to my week. I put browning mince up. I found it this morning. Oh, come on, internet. A little bit slow this morning. Okay, and browning beef mince. Click to go now. Okay, start cooking. All right, so first things first, and I'm hoping I've got enough oil. Wasn't here on the weekend, and I think we're running short, so we'll just see how we go on this. So 20 grams of oil. maybe 10. Wonder if I've got enough in the other Thermi. And the other Thermi. Oh my goodness. Thermi brained. Boys, can one of you find me the other oil container, please? The spray bottle. Because I am just not enough. And it must be out of the barbecue. So while that's happening there and they're collecting that, let's come over here. And all I'm going to do over here is actually pull up the browning mode. Now I've put it here, but remember you can access it from over here. So you can go browning. And here it comes. Now there are tips. So at the moment it's populated 10 minutes, 160 degrees. Up the top, just like you've got on your TM6, it says show tips. And it'll tell you how to actually work this recipe. Oh, you're amazing. Thank you, buddy. All right. 20 grams in that one. Follow first step for browning options of your choice. For gentle, place 20 grams of oil and ingredients in even pieces, not chopped, onion in wedges, rings, blah, blah, blah. For intense option, after preheating in manual mode, add the ingredients in cubes. So you can read that. And then it tells you set the time, temperature, set gentle or intense, and go start. So you can have a read of that later. Let's get straight into it. Browning. So into the Thermomix, I'm going to put 250 grams of beef mince into this one. So in this goes. I think I've probably got more than 250. 240. 263. All right, let's see if we can game for the same amount in each one. Let's bring up the scales down the bottom here. And by the way, just so that you trust me, there you go, 260, because I forgot that the camera wasn't over there, sorry. All right, over here, we bring up the scales. It's come up over here on the twin something display. Can't remember what that's called. Scales, we'll just go for scales. Here we go. 263. Let's see if we can get that. Oh my goodness, jackpot today. That does not happen very often, does it? Now, do I want, what I haven't done here is I haven't put my 20 grams in, so we'll just tear it back. By the way, I could follow the guided recipe on this. I just wanted to test it out today. So as much as you're watching me do this manually, I could have gone to my week and it would have been on there too. I just wanted to show you, and maybe I can do that. Maybe I can. I'm now double guessing myself. Where's my week? Over here. I've got water on the screen here. It doesn't particularly matter. Just wipe it off. I do think you'll want to keep like a microfiber cloth close by just to get rid of the fingerprints. Oh, here we go. Where is it? This day. Scroll down. Scroll down. Oh my goodness. Can you see my kids have been busy? Brown beef. Okay. So this is how a recipe displays on guided. So it says total time 20 minutes. Total amount is 500 because it does it in two 250 gram batches. You can scroll down and see that what it's requiring. Oh, maybe this one's different. Anyway, we'll see. Go start. So this is how it displays. I probably should have done this at the beginning. Anyway, when you pour your oil in, if I had done this, it actually does a line to show you it's in, but you'll just have to wait till tomorrow to see that because I didn't show you now. And then same with the beef mince. As you put it in, it will follow the line and it will tick it off for you. But I'm going to show you today, it doesn't have to be ticked. I'm going to go next. Now it says, let's do saute. So I'm going to click on this. It says 7 minutes, 160 degrees and intense. So I'm going to put my lid on. Like it tells me. I told you, you've got to give me permission to be clunky. So this one says, next, place the splash guard in place. All right, and we go done. Now this says 7 minutes max and it says full temp. So I just spin that and off it goes. And then this one, we just press the green play button underneath. And off they go. Now straight away, I don't know how much you can hear. Mind you, it stopped stirring now, but that one definitely started that one being, let's change view again so you can see me. that one being this, when it does its stir, was a lot louder, that initial stir, than that one. I didn't even hear that one at all. Sizzling, I can't really, I think I can hear it a little bit. That one, I can hear a lot. And I don't think it's because I'm closer. No, I can't hear that one. Now look at the lights. Can you guys see? Let's get you closer. Oh no, you can't because that's the wrong camera. Try that again. Can you guys see the lights up the back have gone red? So like we get the red lights on the TM6, they're now flashing red. Now they would have changed on the way up. So they actually then change from green to yellow to orange to red. So you get all of those. Now they're both cooking away. I can see the steam out of this one. There's a little bit of steam coming out of the other one. So that's cool. Oh, I can hear it bubbling away. I can hear both probably equally now, I reckon. Very impressed. Very cool. So what I can do, I think, as I said, allow me to be clunky today, this week, okay? By next week, I'll be fine. But this week is brand new to me as well. And I'm not, the kids can play with the screen of it, but I haven't let them cook in it yet. I'm like, don't mess it up. I need to actually use it for videos. So they're gonna have to use the other non-sparkles over there. So I've got 3 in the kitchen at the moment. It's amazing. But I'm like, nope, this is Mummy's display one. Don't touch it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm wondering, oh my gosh, now the screen, I'm gonna show you something on the screen. I'm gonna change view for a second and I'm gonna do that again, but you're gonna see me on the small screen. I wanna show you what the machine does when I take the lid off. Watch the display when I take that lid off, okay? So it's pausing the time. It's telling me, put the lid back on. It's got a little emergency symbol in there, okay? So you can take the lid off. You could take the lid off and salt and pepper it and things like that. It actually started beeping at me then. But you can take the lid off, salt, pepper, give it a stir while it's going. I can't do that here with the TM6. Okay, it's locked. It's locked in place. So that's cool. When it is a slow speed, you can take it off. And it does pause the cooking. That's important to know. And I didn't want to take that lid off until it was getting really hot. If it was taken off, you know, when it's starting to still get hot, you won't get to temperature enough to do what you want to do. But if you're at temperature, take it off, give it a stir, salt, pepper, whatever you need in there, and you're good to keep going. So that's super cool as well. 3 minutes to go, we're nearly done. So let's see what the final product looks like. I'm not going to do the secondary cook on this. So normally you'd put the second lot of mince in and keep cooking. I'll do that for those of you on YouTube tonight. So that's where you're going to see that. But look at this. This one's definitely, you can hear it sizzling still, but it's definitely not as prominent as this one. It's going to make it a lot easier for videos because you're going to hear me talking over kneading, over cooking, things that with the TM6 I was trying to talk over. You're not going to notice. And as I said, you'll still be able to make these. So if you were doing this on a TM31 or a TM5, I told you I'm going to give you tips, and I always have and I always will. Your best bet is Vorwerk. Now, I would be looking at something like the San Chow Bao recipe. It was our original TM5 recipe before we had browning on a TM6, and it does a similar job. Is it going to be as brown? No. Will that matter? Depends what you're making. If you want mince on a plate by itself, then it probably makes a difference. If you're making mince into bolognese or on nachos with like a tomato sauce and stuff, not going to make a difference, right? So it really depends on what you're making. But Vorwerk, probably 10 minutes. 7 will not be enough because you haven't got the heat. This is 165 degrees. So, you know, you are going to find that on it as well. All right, 2 minutes to go. I'm excited. So what questions have you got? Put them in the chat. I'd love to know what questions you've got about the model. Now, for the next 7 days, until the 2nd of June, we have 4 offers on with Thermomix in Australia. You can be earning a TM7 or getting it discounted. So it is free to join our business. In 6 sales in the first 2 months of your business, it reduces the price. You can get it discounted down. A fabulous time to be joining up as a consultant and getting a TM7. So if you want a TM7 and you're like, nah, don't want to pay that much right now, that's a good way to do it. We're also on pre-sales of TM7. So they should start moving in the next, I understand it's next week. I'm hoping that's still correct. I haven't seen any update on that, which is really exciting. So this is the last week of pre-sales. So they are $2,649, okay, for the TM7. So the TM6 though, we are on the run out of, okay? I think we must be getting low on stock. At the moment, there's 2 ways to get a TM6 with all the extras you could ever want with a TM6. So with a TM6 at the moment, you are getting for free a second bowl, a blade cover peeler, a cutter, a spiralizer, a glide board. By the way, glide board is built into that. I didn't show you that today. And then possibly Cookidoo. It depends. If you are trading in an appliance, you don't get Cookidoo 12 months extra. If you are buying outright, you've got no trade-in, you get 12 months Cookidoo as well. Okay, so there are multiple ways to get a TM6 at the moment. They are $2,579, but by trading in a TM5 or 31, you can get a $680 discount. By trading in a major appliance like a Sunbeam mixer or a Breville or a Kenwood or a Smeg like mixer, you're going to get a $380 discount, which is just crazy that you can trade in another appliance. And if you've just got like a stick blender and like a no name or whatever like that, then you're getting a $100 discount. All right. So although I'm finding sometimes you're choosing to just pay full price and get the Cookidoo anyway. So it's totally up to you. So 4 different ways to get a Thermomix just for the next 7 days. Can you check in though with the people around you? So if you've got friends who come over and they get to eat your food and they're like, a Thermomix? What's a Thermomix? Make sure they know. Share it on your socials. Tell them as well, please come to your favorite consultant to get it, okay? So that I can look after you, support you to get the most out of Thermomix. Now it's singing. Can you hear it? So it sings at you and says, I'm done. How cool is that? All right, so it just goes for 10 seconds, just like this goes for 10 seconds. So both of these are done. Okay, next. Scrape down the sides and the bottom. So let's have a look at the product in here. I will hold it up for you to see. Am I on the right camera? I am. Okay, so TM6 first. I have to stop every time and I'm like, what am I cooking with? Now you got to scrape the bottom. Why? Because it connects the food off the bottom. I'm going to show you. I'm going to push it apart and show you. Can you see those little bits stuck to the bottom? You don't want to leave them there. You want that to be part of your food. So you want to give that a good push around to make sure that browning connects and stays on your food. Some people do like to, is it called deglazing? Where you put like some wine in there and you cook it off and it kind of connects on that way. I'm not that fancy, but some of you are. That's cool. I love that. All right, so now that I've done that toss around, you can see it gets glossy. So there's my TM6. All right, TM7, let's, whew, a little excited. As I said, first cook. First cook. All righty. Ooh, all right, first up, let's have a look. Let me push it around to show you the glazing. Oh, this one actually doesn't stick the same, which is fast. Okay, so just context on the mince. Identical half of a packet each. Let's have a look. So I believe when I was in the recipe development kitchen, the elements are spread differently in your bowl on the different models. So on your TM6, I believe there's 2 heating elements and 2 sensors. I believe they said that there was more on this one. I don't know if more means 3 or more means 4 or more means bigger. I don't know. But that's really fascinating. You do know that if you get browning and it sticks real good because you didn't have a chance to clean it, you do know citric acid is your answer, right? No big deal. No big deal with Thermomix at all because it comes off with the citric acid. You just put 1 tablespoon in, about 2 centimeters of water, use your kettle feature, cook it off. Just be careful, it's hot and it's acid, so you don't want to spill it on anything. So then tip it out the sink, get one of your scrubbies or a scrubbing brush, no steel wool, it'll scratch your steel. And give it a little rub around, so it's got to be something like a scrubby that's that recycled cotton, and rub it around and then tip it out and you're good to go. Simple as that. You can use lemon, vinegar, eggshells, but people have varying levels of success with that. So how cool is that? Now, the next step in this recipe is add more in and cook more, but I'm going to do that on YouTube because for those of you on Facebook, you've been hanging in a long time today to see this video. So I don't want to take up any more of your day. If I can answer questions, if I can help you in any way or someone around you, remember if you do have someone around you who decides they want to get a Thermomix, remember to come get your referral link first. It means you're going to get a $100 Mix Shop gift card to spend when they decide to buy a Thermomix. So come and just ask for that. I can create that for you. It means that that whole process, you get honored for your inspiration, your, I guess, sharing your love of your Thermomix, which is super cool. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today. I'm so excited for this next chapter, but please bear with me as I'm learning how to use the TM7 and learning the new ways. It feels like driving a car for the first time where you flick on the indicator instead of you flick on the windscreen wiper instead of the indicator. Kind of feel like that. But I'll be here every day sharing my love of the Thermomix in the hopes that you will get more and more out of your Thermomix. So take care and I will see you in the next video soon. Bye for now. Okay, just quickly, YouTube friends, I have added in the additional beef mince. You can see that. Oh, not used to having it not on all screens, but I will get back to all screens soon. There you go. So extra beef mince in those bowls. Okay. And now I'm going to put them both on to cook. So it says now, the current step says, we're going to saute again. I need to put the lid on. See, it's telling me to put the lid on. It's got the little, please put the lid down looking thing. 6 minutes, intense 160 again. Going to press play and off it goes. Now I come over here, got the beef mince in, click on next, splash guard in place again, and spin the dial and off it goes. All right, so that is, and we'll come back at the end of 6 minutes and I'll show you what that looks like. We'll see it soon. Okay, so this step is done. Let's go next. Scrape down the sides of the bowl, loosen and release caramelization, and then it's done. And I'm assuming, because they're the same recipes, that I would see the same thing on this screen. Let's go next. Scrape down the sides and the bottom to loosen the caramelization, transfer and done, and use as desired. Finished. Oh, it sings at you to say it's done. And you see it's red still reflecting up, telling you that it's really hot. And obviously this one will say done as well. Use as desired. Finished. Now really hot inside. You can see that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put them in a bowl. So let's spin you round. I might be able to fit you in front. Let's see what the actual product looks like, I guess you could say, as we pour it out. So exactly the same mince, exactly the same packet. Okay, let's have a look. So this is going to be first the TM, because the camera's on it, the TM6. No, what is this? TM7? Oh, dearie me, here it comes. You can see that coming out. This is going to be my challenge for the next week, is remembering which machine is which. The titles, the numbers. Very much dyslexic when it comes to numbers. I do like that this spatula wipes the sides out so beautifully. All right, there's go. There's one. And let's get you over here. Can we see past? Oh, let's move that aside. There we go. Now we've got the TM6. In it comes. And look at that. Now there's a bit of, that's the stuff. Let me just fix that camera so you can see. That's the stuff they told me to scrape off better. I find I like getting my old spatulas to get it off. It comes off easier using the TM31, more rigid. Oh, no, there we go. I got some off rigid spatulas, but that's what you don't want to leave behind because that's your flavor. That's that flavoursome bit. If you've gone to all this effort, it's not actually much effort, is it? We have a Thermomix. We didn't have to stand at a stove. We went and did all the other important things for 6 minutes. Hang out the washing, send some emails, all the things. There you go. So I got most of that caramelization out. There you go. So they are the two side by side of the TM6 and the TM7. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this has inspired you that if you don't cook mince in your TM31, your TM5, your TM6, you give it a go. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today. Take care, and I will see you for some more TM6, TM7s as this week goes on. If there's something particular you want to see side by side, if you've got a particular question regarding it, reach out. And if you do want to get TM6 on final order, TM7 on pre-sales, reach out. I'd love to send you the link to do so. But otherwise, take care, and I will see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.